From Delaware's most award-winning radio news team, this is WDEL Video News. Here's Chris Carl.
Among Delaware's top stories for Thursday, March 22nd, the jury votes for death in the James Cook case. A state representative faces censure. And Mayor Baker is proposing more police for the city. Here are the details. The jury has recommended the death penalty for the man convicted of killing a University of Delaware student. WDEL's Melanie Armstrong reports.
James Cook showed no emotion as the jury read the verdict, a unanimous call for the penalty of death. Prosecutors hugged and cried with the family of Lindsay Bonestall, who was raped and strangled 2 years ago in May in her apartment in Newark. Kathleen Bonestall says her family hopes to move on from here.
I don't think there'll be closure for us, but I do hope that there will be some sense of healing. That I hope that my family and my friends and Lindsay's friends and my husband and I and my daughter Kristen will now begin.
There's no question that during the course of this trial, the evidence that we introduced and the defendant's own behavior proved him to be a combative, angry, remorseless, antisocial person, and the jury's verdict surely seems to have taken that truth into account.
The Reverend James Beardsley counseled Cook in prison.
And no one is reconciled to having their life taken, but he's going to make it. He's going to get support.
The judge has the final decision on the penalty, but must give great weight to the jury's decision. Melanie Armstrong, 1150 AM, WDEL.
State Representative John Atkins will be censured if House members adopt the recommendation of the House Ethics Committee. WDEL legislative correspondent Carl Konevsky has that story.
A day after getting word that Atkins accepted the findings of the committee, the group adopted a resolution which includes sanctions against the Millsboro Republican. House Minority Leader Bob Gilligan says their resolution calls for a censure for Atkins, a punishment he calls fair and appropriate.
A person is being severely reprimanded for what they did. That it was very serious what they did. They brought, and they used the term disrepute upon the House, and taken very seriously. It's the next step to being suspended or expelled from the House.
House Majority Leader Dick Cathcart, chair of the committee, says he thinks the resolution will show the House is capable of policing itself.
It's clear that the House has, in fact, stepped up to that responsibility, and I think are going to apply some significant sanctions on Representative and Atkins.
The resolution and all of its sanctions will be shared in caucus Thursday afternoon and is scheduled to be voted on by the full House next Tuesday. Reporting from Legislative Hall in Dover, I'm Carl Konevsky, 1150 AM, WDEL.
If you're a Wilmington taxpayer, you have something to look forward to when it comes to the new city budget. WDEL's team coverage begins with Curtis Gray.
The new budget proposed by Mayor Baker Wednesday night is $127 million for the next fiscal year. Baker says it is a continuation of last year's progress with no property tax increase.
While this represents a sizable increase, I believe it is affordable and sustainable and will once again result in a great benefit to the citizens of Wilmington.
A total of 19 new jobs and 28 new cops are also part of the new budget.
Tonight I'm asking City Council to take another bold step and join me in adding an unprecedented 28 additional officers to the WPD. This would increase our authorized strength to an all-time high of 350 uniform officers.
You can expect to see an increase of 12.5% in your water and sewer fund. I'm Curtis Gray, 1150 AM, WDEL.
I'm Ted Efall with reaction to Mayor Baker's budget address. The mayor is calling for an additional 28 new police officers. At-large Councilman Mike Brown says that's all well and good, but he'd like to clear a few things up first.
More clarification on the increase of the police department manpower. I'd like to get a better explanation in terms of why so many. 6th District Councilman Kevin Kelly, however, says he's all for it.
We understand community policing concept, but we want them assigned to neighborhoods.
Ted Efall, 1150 AM, WDEL.
State police want to make sure you're safe on Delaware roads. WDEL News continues in a moment.
As you look for your college experience, make sure you look at Wilmington College, your key to success.
State police say the biggest threat to your safety on the state's roads comes from you. WDEL's Carl Konevsky says they're working to change that.
So far in 2007, fatal accidents claimed 40 lives compared to just 25 at the same time last year. Trish Roberts of the Office of Highway Safety points the finger at aggressive driving behaviors as the cause of 71% of this year's fatal crashes.
There is an increase in frustration on the highways, which is probably leading to more of this aggressive driving due to more congestion on the roadways, people being frustrated by people who are what we call distracted drivers, multitasking while they're behind the wheel.
Colonel Thomas McLeish says driving safety seminars are set for this Saturday, with officials hoping you'll be able to help them keep aggressive drivers in check. All of the seminars will run this Saturday, March 24th, from 10 o'clock until 11:30 in the morning. To register for the Newcastle County Seminar held at State Police Troop 2, call 302-834-2630, extension 234. The Kent County event will be at the Delaware State Police Academy. To register, call 302-739-5898. And to sign up for the Sussex County event at Deltec in Georgetown, call 302-739-5898.
Two controversial bills got committee hearings in Dover yesterday. The Senate Small Business Committee heard testimony on a bill to regulate stem cell research in Delaware. That bill was released from the committee and is scheduled for a vote before the full Senate next week. A related bill that would ban all forms of human cloning in Delaware was heard by the House Health and Human Development Committee. That legislation was tabled by the sponsor. Governor Minner says business is booming in Delaware despite the possibility of a major employer closing its doors. The governor addressed the State Chamber of Commerce yesterday and says there's hope in the fact that Chrysler did not close the Newark assembly plant as originally expected, instead choosing to idle the facility in 2009.
That gives me and my economic development team and all of us who are interested 2 years to work to keep that plant here. They are talking about starting some new models over the next 2-3 years, and I'm saying to them, put one of those platforms, one of those models in Delaware.
Well, some local kids were told to go fly a kite yesterday. WDEL's Lee St. John tells us why.
There was a little more leg power than wind power, but any day you get to fly a kite is a good one. Children from the elementary workshop converged on Tubman Garrett Park in Wilmington Wednesday to mark the 3rd annual Kites All Over the World Day. While there were a few Charlie Brown moments and seemingly fewer breezes, it really didn't seem to matter to those participating, and a couple of people did manage to get a little altitude. Reporting from Wilmington, Lee St. John, 11:50 a.m. WDEL.
The Rangers throw a knockout punch against the Flyers. WDEL Sports and your Delaware AccuWeather forecast coming up.
Oh.
Is everything okay, ma'am?
Not really. I need to ride DART tomorrow to get to work, and I forgot to buy my DART card. I guess I'll have to find a ride.
Well, you certainly come to the right place. Didn't you know that Acme now sells DART cards and paratransit multi-trip cards?
No, where?
They're available at our customer service desk.
It's now easier and more convenient than ever to pick up your DART cards with Acme.
In WDEL Sports, it started out like a boxing match and ended up in a rout. New York Rangers enforcer Carlton Orr knocked out Flyers forward Todd Fedoruk with a hard punch just 21 seconds into the game as the Rangers went on to whip the Flyers 5-0. The hit was retaliation for a rough game the two teams played February 17th. A Rangers team doctor said Fedoruk was experiencing some short-term memory problems. Phillies right-hander John Lieber is going to the bullpen, and he's not happy about it. The Phils were unable to swing a deal for Lieber, so they've decided to use him in the bullpen. He made it clear he'd rather be traded, but all that remains up in the air now that Freddie Garcia had to leave Wednesday's game because of an arm problem. Garcia is to be examined by team doctors today. And the Eagles have added a veteran defensive lineman to the roster. Monte Rieger has signed a 3-year deal with the Birds after spending the last 4 seasons with the Colts. His season came to an end last October, though, when he was involved in a car accident that sidelined him for the rest of the year. Your WDEL Delaware AccuWeather forecast, cloudy to partly sunny today, a high 61. Cloudy tonight with a shower or two, low 50. Tomorrow clouds, a passing shower, the high reaching 64. Get news updates throughout the day. Delaware's top stories at the top of the hour on 11:50 a.m. WDEL, or anytime right here at WDEL.com, including news video from Delaware and around the world from WDEL and the Associated Press. I'm Chris Carl. Thanks for watching.